Braising meat. It was something that we did and a lot of. And not because we wanted to, but because we had to. Tough cuts of meat were cheap and we were sort of poor, so we had to make it work. And if you treated a tough cut of meat properly, it would pay off in ways you couldn't even imagine. Low and slow cooking was usually the order of business most Saturday nights in our household. Because we needed something to eat after church on Sunday, whatever we braised was usually what was on the table. Oxtails were expensive and still are, so we didn't have them as much. Perhaps pot roast is probably the closest thing I could think of that reminds me of what we used to braise. My grandmother, she had this black roasting pan. It was this big black pan with a dome lid on it, and that's what she used to braise just about everything. Why? I don't know, but I do know that things tasted so much better when they came out of that roasting pan. Salt and pepper is all you need to get started. Then a proper sear is important. You want to make sure you're browning on all sides. That starts to build flavor and locks in all the juices. It's necessary, trust me. The rest of the way is so simple, I'm not even sure a recipe is needed. Onions, bell pepper, celery, and garlic, they all get dumped in. Seasonings are important too, so dried Italian herbs, dried fennel, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper all go in. The liquid, that's also important. A mixture of chicken stock and beef stock go in, and then just a little bit of chicken bouillon to finish it off. In a traditional oven, these would braise for about 4 or 5 hours. In the pressure cooker, they'll need about 90 minutes until they're nice and fork tender. I'm not even sure what it was, but it was like the smell. You just knew it was going to be good, and whatever was cooking, whether it was pot roast or short ribs or oxtails or chuck roast, you knew a nap was going to come after. And to be honest, the food was good the day of, but leftovers always tasted so much better. A quick creamy green bean is the side dish of choice. It's creamy, it's garlicky, and it's sharp, and you know what? It just tastes good. Not to mention, it's not that difficult to make. In a bowl, you just combine the cream cheese, the cream, a little bit of salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, onion powder, fresh chopped garlic, and lots of good black pepper. Once that's mixed in well, you just add in some Parmesan cheese to mix and then combine, and you toss the green beans in the oven, but you put a little bit more Parmesan and a little bit more cheddar on top. Let them bake off until they're golden brown, bubbly, and tender. And before we're able to enjoy the oxtails, we had just one more step, and that's to thicken the gravy. You gotta take a little bit of arrowroot powder, mix it with water, and then pour that in while the braising juices are still hot and bubbly. It'll thicken immediately and start to coat the oxtails like you just wouldn't believe. This sort of instant gravy is what makes probably one of the best things about this whole dish. This really reminds me of our grandmother because it's the classic scent of meat braising, and the smell just permeated the entire house like you wouldn't believe. Makes you want to go over here and get a Bible right now just thinking about it. Listen, recipes like this, you know exactly where they're going to be. On my website, dariuscooks.tv. There's 2 things I got to tell you, as I always do. Food is my life. Life, it's my food. Until next time, I got to wish you a happy cooking from my heart to yours.